Hello everyone, I am Sulekha Sharma and welcome to Sulekha Physics classes. It is the most easiest way to learn all the concept of physics through this class. Today I am going to discuss about next topic of chapter wave optics, that is interference. Actually, interference is a wave phenomena, and in class 11 you studied about interference of sound waves, right now? But in this class you studied about interference of light waves. What happens when two or more light waves interfere at some point? But before starting this interference, you must know about superposition principle. That is principle of superposition of waves. What is this? Suppose there are two waves in a medium. One wave is traveling like this one and the wave is traveling like this one, and both these waves suppose superpose at some point in the medium. Now at this point the particles of this medium displaces from their position. Suppose first wave comes at this point and this displaces the particle through displacement y. Then another wave comes and meet at this point and this also displaces the same particle through some displacement y2. So the resultant displacement of the particle is what? This is vector sum of displacement due to individual waves. So superposition principle is when a number of waves traveling through a medium superpose on each other, then resultant displacement. Y here is resultant displacement of the wave. Resultant, you can write resultant displacement of wave. Okay, this resultant displacement at any point is vector sum of displacement due to individual waves. This y1 is displacement due to first wave, this y2 is displacement due to second waves, and the total displacement at this point, the resultant displacement of the wave is vector sum of displacement due to individual waves. So y equal to y1 plus y2. This is superposition principle, and this principle is very important when you study about interference, right? So in that one it is used. Now there are two types of superposition. When two waves superpose at any point, there are two types of overlapping. One is constructive overlap and another one is destructive overlap. Constructive overlap when waves are in phase. When the two superposing waves are traveling in phase with each other, it means when the crest of one wave superposes with the crest of another wave, or trough of one wave superposes with the trough of another wave. This maximum displacement is crest, and in the negative direction this is trough. Okay, and when crest of one wave superposes with the crest of another wave, it means these waves are in phase, and when these two waves overlap, what happens? The resultant displacement of the wave gets added. Suppose here the amplitude of this wave is a1 and here the amplitude of this wave is a2. So the resultant amplitude becomes a1 plus a2. It increases, and you know that intensity is inverse directly proportional to square of the amplitudes. It means if amplitude gets added, displacement gets added, it means intensity increases. Intensity becomes maximum when two waves superpose in phase, right? This type of overlapping is called constructive overlap. Now next, destructive overlap. This happens when two waves are out of phase. They are not in phase. It means when the crest, this one is crest of first wave, superposes with the, this one is trough of this another wave, then what happens? And this trough of one wave superposed with the crest of this second wave. Then the resultant displacement gets subtracted. Resultant displacement becomes 0. And so amplitude also becomes 0. The resultant wave has 0 amplitude and intensity in this case also becomes minimum or 0. So when the two waves superposes at a point and both are in phase, then constructive overlap takes place, and in this case intensity is maximum. But when two waves superpose at a point and they are out of phase, in this case destructive overlapping takes place, and in this case intensity becomes minimum, right? So this superposition principle is the main cause of interference of light waves. For interference to take place, we require two light waves, right? Two light waves. And when these two light waves must have same frequency, we'll discuss what is this same frequency, same direction, right? When we discuss about coherent and incoherent sources, and these two light waves having same frequency, same direction, superpose at some point. Superpose at point, and then interference takes place, right? Interference takes place. So for the interference we require two light waves, two sources of light, both having same frequency, same direction. We will discuss what is that type of source called, and when these two light waves superimpose at some point, then interference of light takes place. So this superposition principle is the main cause of interference of light waves. So take a screenshot of this one. Next we will discuss about interference in detail. Now interference. What is this interference? Suppose there are two light waves. One is this one and another one is traveling in this one. Both these light waves have same frequency and both are traveling in the same direction. So these two sources must have same frequency and having 0 or constant phase difference. Phase difference means, suppose this wave has some equation y1 equal to a sine omega t, right? And this wave has some equation y2 equal to a sine omega t plus phi. So this omega t is phase for this wave, and this omega t plus phi is the wave for this phase for this second wave. So phase difference between these two waves is what? Omega t plus phi minus phi minus, right, sorry, omega t. This omega t cancel, phi. So this difference between these two phases, this is called phase difference, and the two waves must have either 0 phase difference or constant phase difference throughout the motion. Then these two waves, suppose this is a screen and superimposes at this point, waves moves in this one and this in this one. These two waves superpose at this point. So at this position, what happens? Suppose this wave has intensity I1, this one has intensity I2. After superposing at this point, resultant intensity becomes either greater than the sum of these two or less than the sum of these two. This is called interference of two waves, two or more waves. So interference means there is some redistribution of intensity of light. Not just addition of these two intensities I1 plus I2, either it is greater than I1 plus I2 or less than I1 plus I2 in the region of superposition. This is called interference. So when two light waves of same frequency and constant phase difference traveling in the same direction is also same, superpose each other, the intensity, here it is intensity, the intensity in the region of superposition, here is the region of superposition, gets redistributed. It becomes maximum at some point and becomes minimum at some other point. This phenomenon is called interference of light. It means when two light waves superpose at some point, their intensity gets redistributed. Redistribution of intensity of light takes place, and this phenomena is called interference of light. You can say redistribution. Redistribution of intensity of light waves. This is interference. Okay, so for the interference to take place, the two sources must have same frequency and constant phase difference, and this type of sources are called coherent sources. I will discuss after this one what do you mean by coherent source, right? Here just you must know about the two sources must have same frequency, constant phase difference, traveling in the same direction, superimpose at some point, and at the point of superposition, their intensity gets redistributed. Redistribution of intensity of light wave takes place. It means intensity becomes maximum at some point or minimum at some other point. This phenomenon is called interference of light waves. Right? Okay. So there are two types of interference. One is constructive interference and another one is destructive interference. You know, na, interference is redistribution of intensity. It means intensity is maximum at some point and minimum at some other point. So this constructive interference is the point at which intensity becomes maximum. This is called constructive interference, and it takes place only when the waves are in phase. So in this case, I becomes greater than I1 plus I2. I is maximum, right? And this destructive interference is the point at which intensity becomes what? Minimum. At which intensity becomes minimum. And when the intensity is minimum, when the two waves superimpose, both are in out of phase, not in phase, they are out of phase, then intensity decreases, and this type of interference is called destructive interference. In this case, I is less than I1 plus I2, right? So on the screen, in the region of superposition, some points have maximum intensity and some points have minimum intensity. It means constructive interference at some point and destructive interference at some other point. Constructive interference means maximum intensity, more intensity, and destructive interference means minimum intensity, less intensity, right? So these are interference. Now I am going to derive conditions for this constructive interference and destructive interference, right? These two are waves, okay, both superimpose at some other point on the screen. Now what are the conditions when the constructive interference takes place and destructive interference takes place? What are different conditions? Suppose at this point interference takes place, so at this point constructive interference takes place or destructive. So we are going to derive this one mathematically, right? Note this. So now conditions for constructive and destructive interference. What are different conditions when constructive and destructive interference takes place? For this, let us suppose that there are two sources S1 and S2, and suppose the displacement of these two interfering waves or sources is given by Y1 and Y2. Y1 is displacement given by the first source, A1 sin omega t equation is there, and displacement of the second wave is Y2 equal to A2 sin omega t, where this phi is the phase or constant phase difference between these two waves, right? And A1 and A2 are amplitude of this first wave and second wave. What happens now by the principle of superposition? When two waves superimpose at this point P, then redistribution of intensity takes place, interference takes place, intensity may become sometimes becomes maximum, and sometimes becomes minimum. So by the principle of superposition, the resultant displacement at point P is given by y equal to y1 plus y2. This, you put the values of these y1 and y2 from this first and second equation. Y1 is what? A1 sin omega t plus y2 is what? A2 sin omega t. Right? Then this y becomes A1 sin omega t plus A2. What is the formula for this one? Sin omega t plus phi. Open this one. Sin A plus B is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. In the same way, sin omega t plus phi is sin omega t cos phi plus cos omega t sin phi. Now here you take this sin omega t and sin omega t common from these two. So this becomes A1 plus A2 cos phi sin omega t term, right? And the second one is A2 sin phi cos omega t. This is equation number 3. Now I want resultant wave equation having the equation like this one, individual waves, A sin omega t form, right? So you just put these values, A1 plus A2 cos phi equal to A cos theta, so that it becomes formula for sin A plus B. You put this here, it is sin omega t, so you just put this one as A cos theta, and here is cos omega t, you just put this one as A sin theta. Then after putting these two, the equation 3 becomes y equal to, in place of this one, you have written A cos theta. So A cos theta sin omega t. Here, sorry, A cos theta sin omega t. Just write. Okay, a plus here in place of this one, A sin theta. A sin theta cos omega t. In this way, your equation becomes y equal to A sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. It means sin A plus B. So sin omega t plus phi. This is your resultant wave equation. Resultant displacement of the wave. Y equal to A sin omega t plus theta. What is A here? A is the amplitude of resultant wave. When two waves combine, superpose at this point, the resultant amplitude of wave is given by A, and it is harmonic with frequency omega and phase difference theta. Right? Now I am going to calculate what is the value for this resultant wave, amplitude of this resultant wave, and also phase difference theta. You just note down. Okay? Made up this one. Okay. Just okay, resultant amplitude, right? What is the resultant amplitude of the wave? This is A. So how you get this capital A, resultant amplitude? Just squaring, adding these two equations 4 and 5, squaring and adding. Equation 4 and 5. You get what? This A1 plus A2 cos phi whole square plus A2 sin phi whole square equal to this A cos theta whole square plus A sin theta whole square, right? This becomes A square, you take common, cos square theta plus sin square theta, and this becomes 1, right now? So this is A square. So you get this A square means A equal to, or you can write A square equal to this one, A1 square plus A2 square cos square phi plus 2 A1 A2 cos phi plus A2 square sin square phi, right? Just open this one, A1 plus A2 cos phi, A plus B whole square, so A square plus B square plus 2AB, right? And plus this one. Now it becomes a1 square plus a2 square. Okay, sorry. This a2 square, this term cos phi, and this a2 square sin phi. You take a2 square common, then cos square plus sin square phi is 1. We just write simply a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi. This is a square. Now a becomes what? Under root a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi. This is the amplitude of the resultant wave. a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi under root, right? Now what is the phase difference? This we calculate this one. After I am going to calculate this angle theta. Again from equation 4 and 5 you just divide these two equations. Sin theta by cos theta is tan theta. Dividing equation 5 by 4. Okay, you get a sin theta by cos theta is tan theta, right, equal to this a2 sin phi by this a1 plus a2 cos phi, right, a1 plus a2 cos phi. This is angle theta and this one is amplitude, right? So the resultant wave has amplitude a equal to this one and phase angle theta equal to a2 sin phi by a1 plus a2 cos phi. It is diagrammed like this one. Suppose a1 is in this direction, a2 is in this direction. So the resultant of these two is this one, and the angle between a2 and this a1 and a2 is what? This phi, na? Phase difference between a and a2 is phi, and this is the angle with this is resultant, capital A, amplitude, and this angle is theta. So this theta is what? This y-axis by x-axis. So in this way you calculate this one, right? One more thing, you know that intensity is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. This is the relation. Intensity is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. Okay. So you get the expression for resultant amplitude at this point P. Now what is the intensity at that point, right? Resultant wave. So A square is the amplitude of resultant wave. So what is the intensity for that one? This A square, in place of A square you just write I, intensity of the resultant wave. A1 square means this A1 is the amplitude of the first wave. So A1 square is the intensity of the first wave, I1, plus A2 square means intensity of the second wave, because intensity is directly proportional to square of amplitude, plus twice A1 means under root I1, A2 means under root I2 cos phi. This is the expression for intensity, resultant intensity at point P. This I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2 cos phi. Here phi, this cos phi is called interference term. This is responsible for interference. Depending on its value, whether this cos phi maximum value is +1 and minimum value is -1. So if its value is maximum +1, then this intensity becomes I equal to I1 plus I2 plus something. It means intensity is more than the sum of these two individual waves intensity. It means at that point constructive interference takes place. Intensity becomes maximum. And if this term is negative, cos phi is negative, then I1 plus I2 minus something. A minus something means intensity decreases. Okay, and at that point destructive interference takes place. So this is the expression for intensity of the resulting waves, right? So this equation represents intensity at a point P having phase difference how much? 5. Having phase difference 5, right? So you get one important expression, this resultant intensity I equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2 cos phi. And from this equation I am going to derive conditions for constructive and destructive interference depending on the value of this interference term, right? Okay. May I rub this one? Note down. Okay. Now conditions for constructive interference. Constructive interference. RENC, right? How you get constructive interference? With this, you can write this whole term as interference term, right? 2 under root I1. You can write this way also, but this cos phi is main. If cos phi is maximum, then intensity at that point becomes maximum. So for constructive interference, the intensity at point P, at point you can, this P point becomes maximum when it is maximum when cos phi is plus 1. Maximum value of cos phi is plus 1. And when cos phi is plus 1, when cos phi is 0, then 180 minus 1, 360. It means 2 pi, then 4 pi, then 6 pi. So you get plus 1 cos 0, cos 2 pi, cos 4 pi in this way, right? So you can write cos twice and pi, even multiple of this twice pi, right? Cos phi. So therefore phi becomes what? Twice n pi, where n is equal to 0, first 0, then 1, then 2 pi, then 2, then 3 in this way. So this is the phase difference when constructive interference takes place between the two sources. And one more thing, you know the relation between this phase difference is due to path difference. This first wave has this path and second wave has this path. So is the two paths same? No, there is a path difference between, if you draw one perpendicular line here, after these 2 points path is same. So this is the path difference, and this path difference is due to this phase difference. So what is the relation between this path difference? You can write this delta x, okay, and this phase difference. So the relation between phase difference and path difference, you must remember this formula, is 2 pi by lambda into path difference. It's very important formula, okay. Phase difference equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. It is derived with the help of this one. Suppose for one cycle is what? Wavelength is lambda and phase is what? 0 to 2 pi. So for lambda path difference 2 pi, okay. For some path difference delta x, this phase difference is 2 pi by lambda into path difference, okay. So this is very important formula. So with the help of this formula you can find path difference. What is path difference? Phase difference is this one. So path difference becomes, phase difference is what? 2n pi equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference, okay. I am writing here delta x, you can write delta x also. So this path difference delta x, you can write delta x in place of this one, becomes this 2 pi cancel, it means n lambda. So path difference is what? N lambda, where n is 0, 1, 2 dash. So this is the condition for constructive interference. When phase difference is what? 2n pi, it means even multiple of pi, and path difference is integral multiple of lambda, or you can write even multiple of lambda by 2. Okay, so you can write in this way. For constructive interference, path difference, first write phase difference. Phase difference is even multiple of pi. Twice n pi is there na, twice n is even multiple. Even multiple of pi, and path difference is even multiple of lambda by 2. Twice n lambda by 2 na. This twice n is even multiple of lambda by 2, you can write integral multiple of lambda. This is the condition for constructive interference, and when constructive interference takes place, the intensity becomes I equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root, this cos phi is 1 na, 2 under root I1 I2. It means what? This is the expression for under root I1 plus under root I2 whole square. This is I. You can easily from here you can say that this I is greater than I1 plus I2. For constructive interference to take place, this condition you must remember, total intensity is greater than the sum of intensity due to individual waves I1 plus I2. Okay, I think it's clear to all of you. These are conditions for constructive interference. In the same way, you can derive conditions for destructive interference. Take a screenshot of this one. Okay. Now for conditions for destructive interference. Destructive interference takes place when intensity becomes minimum, and when intensity is minimum, when this cos phi is negative. So here intensity will be minimum when cos phi is minus 1, and when cos phi is minus 1, pi, okay, 3 pi, 5 pi in this way. So you can write here, or phi equal to pi, 3 pi, 4 pi in this way. So this becomes twice n plus 1 pi, right, where this n is first 0, 1, 2 in this way. When this n is 0, then this becomes pi. When n is 1, this becomes 3 pi, 5 pi in this way. So phase difference is an odd multiple of pi in this case, right? Here in constructive interference, even multiple, here it is odd multiple of pi. And what is path difference here? You know that phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference, right? So phase difference is what? 2n plus 1 pi equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference, you can write delta x. So here path difference delta x becomes what? When you calculate this one, twice n plus 1 pi minus, you take lambda is this side, this becomes twice n plus 1 pi lambda here and 2 pi this side. So this pi cancel, it becomes twice n plus 1 lambda by 2. Here it is odd multiple of lambda by 2. Here path difference is twice n plus 1 lambda by 2. It means odd multiple. Here both are odd multiple. In constructive interference, phase difference is even multiple of pi and even multiple of lambda by 2. But in case of destructive interference, phase difference is odd multiple of pi and odd multiple of lambda by 2. In this way, remember these things, right? So these are the conditions for destructive interference. And when destructive interference takes place, intensity becomes how much? Intensity I becomes, this term becomes negative, cos phi negative means I becomes I1 plus I2 minus 2 under root I1 I2, or you can write in this one, this where I write, okay, I equal to under root I1 plus under root I2, not plus, here it is minus whole square, right? So from here it's clearly that this total intensity I is not sum of greater than the sum of these two, it is minus something. So here I is less than I1 plus I2, right now? Here I is less than I1 plus I2. It means this is the condition for destructive interference, and intensity becomes this I1 plus I2 minus 2 under root I1 I2. So in this way you remember these things, right? Okay. For constructive interference, intensity increases, it's greater than I1 plus I2, and for destructive interference, intensity decreases less than I1 plus I2. So in this way you can derive conditions for destructive and constructive interference. Take a screenshot of this one. Okay, right now. With this, I am going to end the class. In the next lecture, we will discuss about sources, because for interference takes place, source must be coherent source. They must have same phase difference, constant phase difference, same frequency. We will discuss all these things in the next class. And also one more thing, one important experiment, that is Young's double slit experiment. Up to then, students, wait for the next video. Thank you.